¿Qué tal, amigos de Ubercríticos? Aquí estamos una vez más en estos formatos de entrevista en realidad virtual, Oculus, Cardboard, el formato que más les guste, incluso en Facebook. Y bueno, tenemos la oportunidad de estar con Jason VandenBerghe, ¿lo pronuncié bien? I hope so.
Yeah.
Director creativo de For Honor, un juego que va a estar disponible hasta febrero, pero que vamos a hablar un poquito al respecto. Jason, thank you for this interview. It's a pleasure for us to make this interview and your first interview on VR, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so Jason, what is the most creative moment in this game for you?
In this game?
Yeah.
The most creative moment?
Most
Wow.
creative.
Well, there was the genesis. There was the moment of beginning, right? Which was an epic moment. But that was a long time ago. It was 15 years ago, actually, and I was walking home from the dojo where I had been taking a course in German longsword, which is a rediscovered style of fighting that actually one of our characters, the warden, uses. And I was studying it because I love it. I think it's cool, right? I do that sort of thing. And I was so impressed by the simplicity and the clarity and the usefulness of the system that I thought, what would happen if we took this system, this fighting system, and we applied it to the standard controller, right, the normal thing. And I was walking. I remember it very vividly. Actually, I was in San Francisco, walking along the bay on the sidewalk there, carrying like I had my wooden sword from practice and my bag with my gear, right. And I start going like, wait a minute, if I do this, and then, it would be like this. Oh, and then so I'm walking down the street carrying all my gear, talking to myself, right? And it must have been quite a picture, I can imagine. So I got really excited about the idea, and then I started pitching it. And then for 10 years, the answer was no. So it was, that took some endurance, right? Until finally I pitched it to Ubisoft, and here we are. So that moment of just sort of core insight. What was so amazing about it was that it was so simple. Once I had the right idea from this sword fighting technique, right, this style, and once I applied that to the controller, it just made natural sense. It was so obvious, right? And now we have that system, and it's in the game, and it's what we've been using for a long time, and it works. It really works. There've been a lot of modifications. Like the team, of course, the idea. I had a bunch of stuff that I hoped would work that were bad ideas, right? And so, but the team helped. We figured that out. We did lots and lots of prototyping and really got it so that it was super focused and super clean. So that I think was an amazing moment. Honestly, though, the most intensive creative period on this project, I think, was the opening, like the first 9 months or so, or 12 months, where we were doing prototypes around this idea, because we decided to just play the game constantly. We made hundreds of prototypes to try and figure this game out. It was so new. We didn't have something to follow, right? We were the mechanics just were so new. And so that was quite a period of time. I think we all felt we were really onto something. It was really exciting how fun it was and how different it felt, and people would play it in the studio and they would get really excited, and so that was a really neat experience. The demos were all like stick figures, and it was really simple stuff.
Okay, thank you. How many hours we have of gameplay in this game?
Oh God, I don't know how to answer that question with a modern game. Like it's because we don't design them that way anymore, right? Because we have full multiplayer mode, full multiplayer, 5 different modes, effectively endless play, with 12 different types of heroes, all with different customizations. We have a full story campaign, right? That is. The question I've learned that when people ask this question, what they really mean is, will it be worth it, right? Like if you just play the single player campaign, right? That's going to be enough for you. Like that's going to be a satisfying experience. It's a full experience, even if you never touch the multiplayer. So it's got a lot of game inside it and a lot to do, and it's a totally new way to fight. So I don't know. How long have you got,
And the players of PlayStation 4 Pro Do you have this option?
Yes, we were on the stage with we were part of the announcement for the PlayStation Pro. So we're really excited. You know, what's incredible about the PlayStation Pro is that when you see the 4K screen and you see the graphics and you see the world, you see your game playing in 4K. I mean, we may get used to it someday, but right now, when I look at that screen, it looks like a window. Right? I feel like I'm looking into a world that's on the other side of that glass, and it's amazing. It's incredible. So it's really an exciting time to be part of it.
And what do you think about this technology, the VR technology?
About VR, I think it's where we're going. I think it's exciting to see what disruptions are coming. Right? It's a whole new field, right? It's a whole new it's a whole new set of problems and a whole new set of opportunities, right? So it's not clear to me what it'll mean for this kind of game. It's clear that it's for immersion, it's amazing, right? And for certain kinds of experiences, it's going to change the world. Will it mean that we never make games for a flat screen again? I don't think so. I think there are certain kinds of games that still will work really well for that. But who knows? What I'm excited about is we've had many attempts at VR, right? In the last 20 years. And this one is sticking, right? This time we've made it, right? It's like, okay, all right, now it's a thing, right? Now it's real. So I would love to be someday talking to you about how we're doing sword fighting in a VR experience, right? I think we're a little ways off from getting that right, but maybe not so far. We'll see.
Do you want to add something else to all over critics people?
Well, I mean, let's see. We come out on February 14th, 2017, which is Valentine's Day, which is appropriate. We have co-op, right? We have co-op in the game, so you can play the whole thing. You can play the whole game with bots, or you can play in multiplayer. But you can play the whole thing in co-op as well. We're a PC, PlayStation, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PlayStation Pro. If you have a sword fighting fantasy, if you've ever thought that you might have a knight or a Viking or a samurai inside of you, if you ever like imagined yourself on that wall, holding them off against the thing, give it a try, because it is a fantasy that was missing from the gaming pantheon, right? And we feel like we've filled that slot. We've finally cracked the code of multiplayer. So I really hope to see you guys on the battlefield.
Okay. Thank you, Jason, for this interview. Y bueno, muchachos, ya saben que este tipo de experiencias en video 360, realidad virtual, incluso compatibles con Oculus, solamente las tienen con nosotros aquí en Overcríticos. Hasta luego.